everyone, it's Rebecca from DevourDinner.com and welcome to my kitchen. Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm super excited to have you here and to have another Sunday. So as people are starting to come on, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the side here so you guys can have a link to the recipe. And we're going to wait just a few minutes for people to get on. So as always, as you're coming on, please give me that thumbs up, give me the heart, say hello. You guys, I just want to feel all the love from you guys today, and I want to spread it around to each of you. We've all had a crazy, epic, monumental week, and today I just want to relax a little bit and smile a little bit and share in that love to each of you so that we can just have a few moments where maybe the stress isn't so high. So as we're waiting for people to come on, looks like, hello, Pearl, how are you? Pearl says hello and thank you so much. Pearl, really thank you. And for all of those that are jumping on right now, thank you for being here. I don't know how each of you are feeling, but let me tell you, I am emotionally exhausted with the stress levels of the unknown. And this, my Sunday Live, is a routine that I've been doing now for well over a year, each and every Sunday. And it just kind of grounds me, and I love it. And I'm glad that you guys are here too. And I hope it gives you just a few moments of joy and smiles and warm, fuzzy hugs as you're here with me today. So please jump on, say hello. Hello, Timothy, how are you? Hello, Eileen's from Washington. Susan from San Antonio. Liz, good afternoon from Washington State. You guys in Washington, I'm worried about you. I'm really worried about you. I'm worried about everybody everywhere, to be honest. Okay, as you guys come on, remember, please give this video a thumbs up, give it a heart, give me some love back. For those of you who share these videos week after week, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It means so much to me that you take the time to share with your friends and your family, and it really, really does make a difference for me. So thank you, thank you. Hello, Dee. Hello, Jolene. Hello, Matt. Hello, Teresa. Okay, we're just about ready to get started. I'm just waiting for the thumbs up from Gail from the Instapot 101 family, as well as some other groups as well. We want to make sure that they get invited with this live feed, so just bear with me here for just a moment. Oh, there's the thumbs up from Gail. Gail, thank you. Hello, welcome to our 101 family. And all the other groups that are joining us. Thank you so much for coming and spending this hour with me every Sunday. You guys, it makes my day. I hope that I bring a little bit of sunshine into your lives as well, especially after this week we've had. It's been crazy, you guys. I know that we have people on in all different age groups and demographics and things, and there's a lot of pressure points. And so today I wanted to focus on a recipe that uses some ingredients from our pantries, from our cupboards. Because I know with a lot of people self-quarantining or self-isolation in your homes that you might not be going out to get ingredients. But I know you have ingredients in your home, and I want to teach you how to take recipes and enhance them and alter them if you need to, if you don't have all the ingredients, to make a meal for your family. Many of you are going to have kids home from school, and you're going to have to come up with some different ways to make lunches. And so today we're going to make one of my favorites. It's comfort food, you guys. I needed it. It's a homemade macaroni and cheese. This recipe was inspired by my grandmother. She used to bake it in the oven, and I loved it. And I loved the crispy top on it. Today I'm going to show you how to do that in the Instapot or the pressure cooker. I'm going to use my Milthy multi-pot today. If you're interested in any of the multi-pot or the Milthy products, you guys know, use code Devour Dinner, all caps, one words. It'll get you $10 off in the shopping cart directly from Milthy.com. So remember that. But in this today, we're going to be using some elbow pasta. It also calls for some chicken broth. You can substitute chicken broth for water. I like to use chicken broth because I love the added taste where the pasta absorbs all that liquid. And so I really love to use chicken broth. The recipe also calls for some evaporated milk, as well as some sharp cheddar cheese, some Monterey Jack cheese, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of butter, some ground mustard, so that's dry mustard, as well as some nutmeg, which is optional. And today we're going to do some mix-ins, okay? And I'm going to show you the mix-ins and some ideas as we go along. But let's get started. There's so many of you who are on here. So one more time, we're going to drop the link because I know the link gets buried and you guys can't find it. We're making the homemade macaroni and cheese. For those of you who are on, please give this video a thumbs up right now. It really does make a difference, or give it a heart. It really helps. And for all those that share this video, again, thank you. It really does make a difference for me. This is how I make my money to help support my family. And that little bit of kindness that you guys do goes such a long ways. But let's get started, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do, let's get this pressure cooker. Let's get top down. I know you guys love the camera angles and what we have going on with them. So let's get them in play for you. And there we go. Now let's go like that. There you go. Okay. We've got our picture-in-picture so you guys can see my top down here, which is super fun. Today I'm going to cut this recipe in half. I had told my family I'm not going to make large batches of things where we're eating leftovers for days, and we're going to make smaller batches so that we're not wasting food. So today I'm cutting the recipe in half, which means I'm using about 8 ounces of pasta, and this is just the elbow macaroni. I'm also going to use about a teaspoon of dry mustard in this, and we're going to use about 2 1/4 cups of chicken broth. Now if you just joined me, I like to use chicken broth over water, okay, because it does make a difference. A can of chicken broth is not quite 2 cups. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water as well to balance that out. Okay? And that's it. That's all we need to add right now. And we're just going to set it. So we're going to close our lid. Oh, I got the wrong lid here. Hold on. Okay. So we're just going to set it to pressure cook. We're going to use the plus and minus keys, and we're going to set it to 5 minutes. Now, if you're using a different kind of pasta, which certainly you can, you don't need to use elbow macaroni. You could use a penne or a bow tie, or you could even do this recipe, I suppose, with some spaghetti broken up if you wanted. Each type of noodle is going to have a different cook time. So keep that in mind, that an elbow macaroni takes about 5 minutes. So does a bow tie as well as a penne. So you're safe there. Spaghetti takes a little bit less. Some people like 3 to 4 minutes on a spaghetti. So just keep that in mind. We'll want to make sure that we close our pressure valve. That's that wobbly button right back here, so that it is in the closed and locked position, and we'll wait, okay? You just heard the beep go off. The beep means that the pressure cooker has accepted our settings, and it's now going to start heating that lower element and heat it up so that we can have pressure going. That's all there is to it. So I want to answer questions today. So I'm going to get over to some questions while I move this out of the way. I'm also going to lose that really quick. There we go. All right, you guys, where are we at? We have a whole slew of you guys on here today. Thank you for being here. You guys, I'm going to do some shout outs. I love saying hi to you guys. Teresa, Judy, Gail, Christine from Vegas, Jacqueline, hello, Liz, Neela, Lynn is from Ontario, Canada, Marilyn from Cincinnati, Taz is from Nebraska, Joyce, Gina, Sandra, hello again, Gina, welcome, Margaret, Carol Ann, Jamie, back again from Illinois. So many of you are return faces. I love it. And when I go through all of the comments at the end and I see all of you returners and then so many of you new. If you're new and this is your first time watching, welcome. I go live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time with a new Instapot recipe. Come and ask your questions. If I don't answer your questions live, I'll answer them in the comments when I go back through. Hello, Lisa from Omaha, Taffy, Margaret, Deb, Diane from New Brunswick, Haley, woo woo. I've got all my boys watching. Oh my gosh, Haley. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, Haley, for being here. Hello, boys. How are you guys? Rachel from Pennsylvania. Debbie's here as well. Ashley's here in Mountain Home. Oh my gosh. Hello, Ashley. Hello to all of your kids. Hello, Debbie. You guys, these are friends of mine that I grew up with. And some of these are girls I babysat when they were born. And let me tell you, I just love them. You guys are going to make me cry today. Danielle. Danielle says, I just made this today, but added some Velveeta cheese. My son is a picky eater and ate 2 servings. Whoa! I love that, Danielle. Thank you for sharing that. Marilyn from Georgia, Sandy, Carol, Joyce, Rebecca from Knoxville. You guys are awesome. Oh, Timothy's got a great question. So Timothy's asking a question. How can you tell when your seal definitely needs to be replaced? Okay. There's a lot of variable to that question. Some people use their pressure cookers maybe once or twice a week, and their seal's going to last a very, 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 very long time. You guys know I have 4 pressure cookers. I have seals running around all over the place. And I swap my seals out. So let me grab this lid, because this is a great question. So in this lid right here, this is an Instapot lid, and I have one of the clear silicone rings in it. Now this is a newer ring, and the reason I know it is because it's stiffer, okay? So when you have a nice, good, stiff ring, you don't need to replace it. As a ring gets softer, and you will know what I mean by softer, and you notice maybe it doesn't seal up as quickly, that's the time to get a new ring. So the rings are about $10 on Amazon, and I would say after you've had your pressure cooker maybe 9 months, it doesn't hurt to buy one just to have on hand so that you have it when you need it. But it's not something you need to stockpile or whatever. These last a really, really long time. So even with my 4 pressure cookers, I probably only have, I'm not sure I even have 8 rings right now, which would only be 2 rings of pressure cooker. But keep in mind, I do some rings for sweet and some rings for savory, and I try to keep them separated. But while I have this ring out, I want to show some of you newcomers how to put the ring in. So I'm going to do picture-in-picture so you guys can see right here. But the first thing that I do is I take my ring and I just set it in the lid, okay? And then what I do is I take just one hand and I tuck it in under that metal ring that goes all the way inside of here, okay? And when it's stiff, it's harder, you guys, and that's okay. And I work my way around, and usually when I get back to the starting point, you got to really work it to kind of pop it down in a little bit. And I always go around it twice, and then I check. So I'm going to look all the way around to make sure that I see that metal ring is in between the silicone ring all around. Okay? That's as easy and as quick as it is. For those of you up here, when I go like this, you can see that metal ring coming around, okay? So this silicone ring should be washed between every time you make a recipe. Super important to remember that, because you guys, think about when you're cooking inside and you're getting all of the starches from your pasta or whatever else you're doing, and it gets caught up underneath this ring. And that can grow bacteria if you guys aren't washing it, and that'll get you sick. So it's super important. Take this out and wash it. What I do is I get my Dawn dish soap, and I have a scrubby brush, and I get it on the brush, and I just scrub, and I just move this around, and I scrub it. Then I rinse it, and then I like to still throw it in my dishwasher to help kill anything else, but you don't have to. You can let it air dry, or when it's all dry, you can throw it into your freezer, and that helps to kill some of the garlic smells that you get with your rings. But that's all there is to it. So if I put this in again, I just work my way around, and I always go around twice, because as many times as I've replaced a ring, There's been times when even I don't get it on right. So I just make sure it's in. That's it. Pretty easy, you guys. Great question, Tim. I love that one. Lynn's asking, Lynn, this is a great question. How do you feel about steam diverters? I have mixed feelings. I think if I had a smaller kitchen and I was limited on space, I probably would use a steam diverter to get it away from my cabinets. But since that's not the case, I don't use one. But I think they can be helpful. I have read some articles that say steam diverters will clog up the mechanism because it's not letting that go as quickly. So I think it's a personal preference of making sure you're cleaning that lid and you're cleaning things out so that nothing gets clogged up for other times and gets gummed up. But they certainly have their place. So hopefully that helps you. Rebecca is excited to be here. You're a newbie. Welcome, Rebecca. Love your name. Kathy says, love your show. Kathy, I love that you're here, and I love that everyone else is here too. Oh, we're not even on the front. Oh, sorry. Let's see. I hope we haven't been on top down for too long, you guys. I'm sorry. Hello from Florida, Christy says. Hey, Peyton and Nathan are watching. My two nephews. Hello, Peyton. Hello, Nathan. You guys might remember last year, Nathan and Peyton joined me live on one of my Sunday lives, and they actually helped with all the cooking and prepping and stuff, and it was like so much fun. Tina, hello from Ohio. Diane says, thank you for the bread tip using the yogurt setting. I'm making bread and rolls twice a week now. Oh, I love it. Okay, so for that tip, I love to proof any yeast recipe that you have. Now, I have my favorites and I can share with you, but any yeast recipe that you have, I proof in my pressure cooker using the yogurt setting. And I just spray the inside of the liner and put my dough in there on the yogurt setting, and it will double in half the time. So as you're proofing your dough, it raises so quickly. You guys know that I live in eastern Idaho where it is cold, like really cold. So in the wintertime, my dough would take forever to proof and raise. But with the pressure cooker, it does it in 15 minutes tops, and I'm ready to go, and it just speeds up the process. So that's a wonderful one. Let's see. So Wolf James says, I'm still a little scared of mine. Okay, don't be scared. You've come a couple of weeks, and I hope you've enjoyed being here for a couple of weeks and learning different things. But I love having you come. And don't be scared. Keep watching and trying these easy recipes, and you'll get the hang of it. I promise you will. So I love the comments. Deb says, I use my red ring for spicy and the white ring for chicken and eggs, etc. This is awesome. Okay, Carol Ann is asking, what are we cooking? Carol Ann, I am making I'm going to drop the link again for you guys. It is the macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese recipe. It's inspired from my grandma. So the pressure cooker is now pressured up, and we have 3 minutes left. I'm going to give this probably a 2-minute quick or a natural release to let those starches inside settle down. In the recipe, it says to put a towel on top because you're going to get some of those starches out. You can also just let a little natural release happen so that the starches calm down and you don't get that spitting. And so that's what we're going to do today. Let's see. So Gina says, when I make mac and cheese, I get a burn notice. Any tips? Oh, it just jumped. So she asks if there's any tips. So you'll get the burn notice if something is stuck on the bottom or you don't have enough thin liquid. So it's important to have the right amount of liquid ratio to your noodles. It may be that you're not using enough liquid, and so all of it is getting absorbed, but the cook time isn't over. So I would check your liquid and see if that's maybe the problem. Heidi says, yummy, can't go wrong with a recipe from Grandma. You can't. Now in this recipe, sometimes what I like to do is put it in a casserole dish and throw it in my oven on broil with some breadcrumbs on top to get toasty. Today I'm not going to do that, but of course you guys know how to take some breadcrumbs and mix a little bit of butter with it to make a crumb taco bean. You can also crumble up like Ritz crackers as well. And many of you I know have purchased the crisp lid from Milthy. And the crisp lid will turn any 6-quart or 8-quart pressure cooker, any brand, into an air fryer. And that's super fun too, because I could just leave my macaroni and cheese in here when it's all made up with the cheeses and put the breadcrumbs on top with the crisp lid on top and just toast it up right inside. And so it's truly just a one-pot recipe with that. So super fun. All right, you guys, we are almost there. Let's talk about some add-ins. So today I'm going to be adding in some ham cubes, about a cup of ham cubes. You can also add with those ham cubes some peas. Get some vegetables in there. That would be one option to do. If you like Spam, cut up some Spam. Add some Spam in there. You can add tuna. You can add like a can of chicken as well. Anything to get some protein into this from your pantry and whatever you like. Another one that's super fun too is some crumbled bacon. You guys have bacon? Crumble up some bacon and add to your macaroni and cheese as well. Now as this is finishing, we just heard the beep, which means our 5 minutes of pressure cooking is done. And we're going to give it, like I said, 2 minutes to natural release before we quick release it. So for any of you who are on here, this is a question I kind of repeat week after week. The difference between a quick release and a natural release. A quick release is when we would automatically open up the pressure valve and let that steam shoot straight up. A natural release is when we let the pressure naturally release slowly over time. So typically a natural release is used when we're cooking meat or our protein. And the reason we naturally release that pressure is so that moisture stays inside of our meats. If we quick release, that pressure is pulled out and we tend to have drier chicken or steak or roast. So that's the difference of what we do. So we will give this another minute and then we'll start opening that up. To open up the pressure valve, if you received one of these ladles when you purchased your pressure cooker, it has a little notch on the end. That little notch is really easy to open and close the valve on top so that you don't use your fingers. Of course, you can use a good old wooden spoon. You can use a fork or a regular spoon as well. I encourage you to use something to open it up until you're very, very comfortable with opening and closing the pressure valve. Of course, you guys see me here week after week. I do use my hands a lot, but I've also made thousands of recipes inside of the pressure cooker. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to open this up. So I'm just going to use the valve and open it. And we're going to let that pressure out. Let's get rid of this. Now you're noticing it's starting to spit a little bit. So when it starts to spit, go ahead and close it, okay? The reason it's spitting is the starches from the pasta. And if you think for a minute, when you are cooking on a stovetop, your noodles will boil and get that foam, that starch, and it boils over and it makes a mess, right? The same thing is happening inside of your pressure cooker. So when it starts to spit like that, those are the starches that have reached the top of the lid here and come out. So if you close the pressure valve, it allows things to settle back down before you open it. And so what I'm doing right now is called a controlled pressure release, where we open and close it to let those starches calm down just a little bit. Tana says on natural release is keep warm on or off. Keep warm is on everything. Once your cook time has finished, your pressure cooker goes to a keep warm mode. I had someone in, I think the 101 group, ask the question, do things still cook in the keep warm mode? And the best way that I can describe it is if you're cooking on your stovetop and you've turned your burner off, but your pan is hot, everything inside is still warm. So it won't be cooking at the same rate that it was when you had your burner on, but it's still cooking. If you left pasta there, it would start to get really overcooked over a long period of time. The same thing happens inside of your pressure cooker. So it's important to recognize why you don't want to leave things longer than need be. All right, I'm going to move the pressure cooker to the middle here so you guys can get a bird's eye view of what we got going on. We will bring back that picture-in-picture. There we go. And I'm going to open this up. Now, typically with pasta clumps together, okay? So we open it up. Let me give you guys the big picture. I think you'd like that better. There we go. So it is kind of clumpy, right? So the first thing I want to do is just break up the pasta. Okay, then I'm going to add a little bit of butter. We're going to get that melted in. And I'm going to add some sharp cheddar cheese. We're going to give that a stir so it can melt. We're going to add a little bit of Monterey Jack cheese as well. And we'll stir that. And we're going to add a little bit, a half of a cup of some evaporated milk. To help make our sauce here. And we're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese as well. We'll give that a stir. You can see it's becoming all super cheesy now. Pun intended, you guys. Okay, so it is looking fantastic. Everything's melting up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some ham cubes. Actually, wait. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to take some of it out. I'll explain. You guys can see how cheesy this is, literally. Okay, now I'm going to add my ham cubes right inside. Of course, the ham cubes are all cooked up. I'm going to stir those in so they can kind of heat through. If I wanted to add my peas, now would be the time that I would add my peas. And I'm going to put the lid back on. The reason I'm going to set my lid on is to kind of capture any of the heat inside so it can heat up the ham or the chicken or the tuna or the Spam that's inside of it. I'm then going to take some bacon and I'm going to add it right to the top of this portion right here because that's kind of fun as well. And then let's grab, just going to grab a cutting board, set it up front here, and start plating. Now, you can always add salt and pepper. I've got a little bit of nutmeg. Nutmeg is one of those seasonings that a lot of people kind of go, nutmeg? But I'm telling you, a little bit of nutmeg in your homemade macaroni and cheese goes a really long ways. So I'm just going to go ahead and add, and I'm only adding about a quarter of a teaspoon right now. So when we talk about not very much, I'm serious, not very much. And then we're going to plate that up as well with our ham cubes. You can see, look at that cheese, you guys. Super cheesy, super delicious, super good, all the way around. Put that out there too. And then, let's get the rest out. So so we can serve it up. You can see that even a half of a batch really does make quite a bit. I only have 3 of us here today. I know that's kind of strange, you guys. So I only have 3 of us, which means I just don't need a ton. And the longer you let this sit, the more cheesy, stringy it tends to get. So to reheat this, you can add a little bit more of your evaporated milk as well. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way. Get my hands off. All right. There you have it. So, that's our macaroni and cheese with some mix-ins, you guys. Super easy, super fast, super able to do, where you guys can customize it from your pantry meals on what you have in your cupboards, okay? And that's what I love about cooking from our pantries and our cupboards. It's the things that we already love and we already love to use that makes a difference. And so, like I said, you could add peas right into it. Today I'm gonna steam up these peas and eat them on the side. You could add Spam if you like. There's such a variety that you could add to this recipe. And let's get this out of the way. And let's let you guys see this top down for a minute. There we go. How's that? Looks delicious, right? All right. Awesome, you guys. I am so excited to have you guys here. It's really wonderful to have you here, especially during these hard times that we have going on around our nation and around the world. And it's super important that we share the kindness and love to one another. So for all of you that are here, take a minute and think about who you can share some love to today. I saw a meme on Facebook that says, hey, all you introverts, make sure you check on your extrovert friends. The social isolation is killing them. And it's true. So make sure you pick up the phone and you call your friends. You have that contact. It'll help your mental health as well as your